Alright, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's evening for me. I'm going to continue with completing the square part 2 in this video. And in the last video, we just finished by looking at, we had two mini units. So we had x squared plus 8x plus 20. And so I drew my algebra tiles. I did 8 divided by 2, which gave me 4. So I have 4 x's on either side. And that gave me 16 units that I needed for my square. But I had 4 extra units. And so I still need to have those 4 included for that. So I really could say I still have instead of I still need. I have to use those 4 more units. And so what I did then was x plus 4 squared. And then I include that plus 4 there in order to be able to have the total of 20. Because when I do x plus 4 squared, I really only have x squared plus 8 x's plus 16. And I need 4 more to make 20. So I put x plus 4 squared plus 4 is what my vertex form was, gave me the vertex of -4, 4. And then I showed the area model too to help you if you like that method. So I'm going to now do the algebra part. And you don't always need to do the algebra part. Sometimes some people like this a lot better because you don't have to draw pictures, and I wouldn't say it's more sophisticated or less, it's just different, and different is okay. So this is f of x equals, we're going to start the same, 8x plus 20. And so I'm going to still do what is c, so I'm going to do c equals 8 divided by 2 squared. And so now I'm going to break my equation into my square, and I know that this becomes 4 squared equals 16. So to be a perfect square, it's going to be f of x equals x squared plus 8x plus 16, but I need that to equal 20. So what I need to do is, this is my perfect square. This part's my perfect square, but these numbers don't match up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this down here. What I had, f of x equals x squared plus 8x plus 20. And I'm going to now break this into what my perfect square is and what I have left over. So that goes f of x equals my perfect square, I have right here, is x squared plus 8x plus 16, but I need to have 20. So to figure out what I still need to add to my picture, I just think into my head, what do I still need? I have 16, so I need to add 4, and if I do 4 plus 16, then I get 20. So my 16 is still included, my 4 is included, but now here's my square. So now I can write this as f of x equals x plus 4 squared, and then plus 4. And this 4 came from right here. When I do this 4 squared part, this 4 is always what I'm putting right here. Whatever you get before you square it, that's going to be what goes here. And then this extra 4 plus 4 came from those extra pieces that I have left over. I'm still thinking in my head about my algebra tiles because that's how I'm thinking about it. But it could just be, you have 16 to make your square, but you need 20 to be used in this problem, so what's left over is that 4. And so these 4 are those 4 left over on the outside right there. So for some color coding, these 4 on the outside are connected to these 4 here, which is also here. So there's the same numbers there. And then this x plus 4 side lengths, those are the same as right here, that x plus 4. So there's the same, again, there's the same math, just represented differently. This is the algebra way. If you get this way, awesome, you can do it. It works for any type of perfect square you have when you have too many units for the c term than what you get when you divide this in half and square it. So we're going to now look at what do you do when you have too few units left over? So this was too many. Now I'm going to go to not enough, or too few. I'm going to say not enough. That sounds better. So this is the part 3, completing the square, part 3. And this is still 11:1:18 for me recording. And so now is when I have not enough units. All right, so here's my equation. F of x equals, and I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to put minus to see what happens if that b term is negative. 10x plus 18. So again, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this problem. I'm going to show you with the picture, and I'm going to show you with the algebra. All right, so I'm going to go with the picture first again. So even though this is a negative number, this is minus 10x, the math is still the same, but I just have a minus x minuses instead of pluses in here. So I'm going to write my problem again. X squared minus 10x plus 18. And so I'm thinking to myself, what is, now I want to say that's minus 10 or negative 10. So negative 10 divided by 2 squared is what my c term is going to be. So negative 10 squared gives me negative 5. And when I square a negative number, I still get a positive number. So to make a perfect square, I need 25, but this only gives me 18. So we'll draw a picture and see what happens. All right, so I know I have my x, and then I'm going to put negative x's, but the picture really looks very similar, except those are negatives. But I know I'm going to have 5 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 5 x's. 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is now x minus 5. And so these are negative x's over here. And then this is also negatives down here. And then I have negative 5. And so this negative times negative is positive. So this is 25 units, but I was only given 18 to use. So technically, this whole bottom row, I don't have those units because I don't have 18, or I don't have 7. So if I count 5, 10, 15, I only get 3 on the second row, and I don't have the bottom row. So this part right here, I just erased, is what I don't have. But I need a perfect square. I can't work with a not perfect square because I need vertex form. So I want to add in the squares here. So in class we showed you we can add a positive and a negative to be 0 and not change the value. So if I need to add in 7 squares to make a perfect square, I can add in 7 positives and I can add in 7 negatives because that will be a 0 change. So my value of my equation won't change at all. So my 7 positives are going to go in here to fill in what was missing. And my 7 negatives, I'm just going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're negatives. There's no sign, it's positive. If there's a sign, the negative sign, it's negative. So now I have my 7 negatives. And so when I when I write out my equation, I have f of x equals, my square is x minus 5 squared, and then I have what's on the outside are 7 negatives. So I'm going to put plus 7 negatives, but we don't typically write it this way. We're going to go and just rewrite that a little bit neater as minus 7. So it's like I need this. I don't have it, so I need it. So we needed 7 units in order to make this a complete square, to make a square. Whereas on the other one, so I'm subtracting because I don't have it to make a square, so I need it. Whereas here, I had 4 more that I had to deal with, or I needed the 4 to make the 20 that I had. So that's why I said I still have 4 units here. I need 7 units here, so I'm subtracting. So that's when I have to few units with the tiles. With the math, I'm going to do very similar as I did with the when I had too many. F of x equals x squared minus 10x plus 18. I already know all of the C work, so I'm going to just do it over here kind of on the side. So C is negative 10 divided by 2 squared, and that gives me negative 5 squared, which gives me a positive 25. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to know, all right, my perfect square has to have the 25. So I go f of x equals, my perfect square is x squared minus 10x plus 25. But then I only had 18 units to work with. So what am I going to have to subtract? I have to subtract something because I don't have 25, I only have 18. So I'm just going to go, okay, what's 25 minus 18? What I need minus what I have. And so that's going to give me, if you do your subtraction, that's going to give me 7. And so I don't have 7, so I'm going to put minus 7. And if you look at 25 minus 7, that gives you 18. So I still have this 18 here. It's just written as a positive 25 and a minus 7. And so in this case, again, I needed 7 more here to make a square 25. So I'm subtracting the 7 on the outside. So I still have a balance of 18 units total being used. And so again, I can go into vertex form. F of x equals, this part right here helps you a lot knowing what my square is. So it's x minus 5, so it's right there, that x minus 5 or negative 5 squared, and then I have that minus 7. So when I have that, now I know, and that matches up to what I had here. Now I can, from this point, be able to say, all right, my vertex, which I didn't do over here, if I look at either one, they're the same equation, is hk. What do I put in here to make 0? That's 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. So my vertex is 5. And then I have my, this is negative 7, or this is minus 7. So my vertex is 5, negative 7. So that's my vertex for this problem. And the next video is how do I graph using my vertex once I have that. So I hope that this has helped you kind of solidify what we've been doing in class, and I hope that you are able to better understand how to complete the square. Everyone in class has been doing an awesome job, so I'm not too worried about it, but I know these videos tend to help you for review. So hope this helps you solidify your learning. Have a good evening, good afternoon, or good morning. Bye.